Hola, ¿qué tal? Aquí estamos en Vampyr y vamos a hacer la misión principal. Estamos a unos 100 metros.
It's locked.
Ya. Cadete exterminado de Briwan. Ok. Y aquí arriba nada, ¿no? Bueno, creo que es el camino. ¿Por aquí?
Better go home, sir.
Wow. Pasamos fuerte, ¿eh? Y yo, ¿por qué no puedo aturdir a esta gente, tío? Sangre. Uf. Perfecto. Creo que podemos ya mejorar alguna arma. Vale. La amenaza Icor. De entre todos los diabólicos y repugnantes escalos que me he tenido que enfrentar, el Icor o Icor puede ser el peor. Y no se debe a su capacidad para luchar, aunque no deja de ser un rival harto, poderoso y peligroso. Un momento, tengo esto puesto, sí. Ni tampoco su intelecto superior, ni a sus astutos planes. El Icor es directo y franco en sus acciones y objetivos. Propaga enfermedades, contagia epidemias siempre y cuando tiene la oportunidad. Un Icor o Icor es la encarnación de virus e infecciones. De donde quiera que va, surgen las enfermedades y se propagan rápidamente. Parece como si solo estuviese en este mundo para engendrar plagas y epidemias, como si su propia piel esparciese la enfermedad. Los Icor son astutos, escurridizos y malévolos y feroces, capaces de soportar muchas heridas. Trapear un depósito de agua, un granero, un banquete, ese es el tipo de cosas que hacen Icor para satisfacer su putrida y perversa naturaleza. Son tan poco comunes que no sabemos nada acerca de ellos. La preciosa hermandad cree que no se los debería considerar vampiros ni escal, sino algo distinto. Solo tengo claro una cosa: un Icor debe ser destruido por todos los medios en cuanto es descubierto. Vale, tenemos aquí distintos tipos de vampiros de raza o yo qué sé. La movida que hay aquí. Bueno, nada más. Ahí. Venga, por ahí. Ah, esta es la puerta que por la que no podía entrar antes, ¿no?
The West End. Never have I felt so sad to be back home.
Mola, pero no, por aquí no es. Vamos a seguir. Joder, tío, mira que venía despacio, ¿eh? Poco daño. Tiene la mordedura, ¿eh? Ey. Hijo puta. Pero bueno. Puta, hombre. Empieza a empuñar la corriente y grasa. Vale, por aquí no se puede. Por aquí.
The Ascalon Club. The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected.
Tu ejército... Bueno, lo mismo, está a los lados. Del ejército y de la marina. Charlo... Ah, mira. Bien, personajes.
Good evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reid. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
I understand she also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young Ekons. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte.
Qué bromista. Claro. Claro. Es la hija de Lady Ashbury, creo, sí. Y quiere convertirse en vampiro, claro. Su vida en Londres. Sobre seducción. ¿Qué sabe de mí?
What exactly has your mother told you about me?
Your name and profession, obviously, and the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reid? Or you?
Sabe mucho de los vampiros, no parece tenerles miedo. Debería desconfiar, no. O sea, se me olvida lo que me ha preguntado. Joder. Puede.
Perhaps it's wise for a mortal never to totally trust a vampire. Your mother herself told me that we Ekon are creatures of deception. Maybe it's because we seem so alive.
That may be true for a naive girl, but I have the best teacher when it comes to getting rid of an insistent immortal.
Your mother is not like any other vampire I've met.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reid.
Bueno, háblame sobre el barrio.
What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Sí, nací aquí.
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reid?
¿Hay algo que la moleste?
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
I suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
¿Qué está haciendo aquí?
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night, since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
¿Es una sufragista?
Are you a suffragette then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time. Even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much. Too bad there aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
¿Cómo está relacionando la población?
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this
Emily.
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reid. And please, don't tell my mother.
Sí, Emily no está. Esto me parece interesante, esta misión secundaria. Sobre su adopción.
Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
¿Quiénes son sus padres reales? ¿Lo sabrá?
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see? And one day, I'll have my death to face.
¿Cómo conoció a Lady Ashbury?
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Ekon, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
Joder, como para no. Que ha sido el olfato de Lady antes de ser adoptada por la propia. Ajá. Preguntas personales. Tenemos casi todo, ¿eh? ¿Por qué la adoptó?
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How was it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Uf. ¿Por qué quiere convertirse en vampiro? Vamos a
Why do
ver.
you still hope to become a vampire in spite of your mother's refusal?
It's the immortal aspect of vampires that interests me. The world won't improve unless women take charge. I'm convinced of that.
You're obviously a clever woman with a good education and a brilliant future. But have you thought about the price you'd have to pay? The loneliness, the necessary masquerade.
Is it not true of every high position? To change this world and make it a better place, one needs time on one's side.
Y sobre la negativa de su madre convertirla.
Your mother has refused to turn you into a vampire. Tell me more about it.
Each time we argue, Mother expresses the same fear. She wants me to remain alive and full of joy, rather than become melancholy and immortal. She claims you can't have one without the other. It's pure selfishness.
Es su elección.
It's your mother's choice. As daughters and sons, we have to accept the decisions our parents make for us despite our own wishes.
I love my mother, and have accepted everything from her. Even that she named me Charlotte, when it was not my original name.
Does it bother you?
No. Whoever I was when I was born, I am now Charlotte Ashbury. It hurts as much as it makes me proud to know that's the name my mother will read on my tombstone.
¿Confía en ella?
Your mother has walked this earth for much longer than you or I. She is wise, and we should not ignore her advice when we disagree with it.
But why shouldn't I be allowed to forge my own experience? There can't be only one righteous way to deal with eternity.
Lo tenemos todo, ¿eh? Pero para luchar como yo eficacia contra la desigualdad una vez sea inmortal. Vale. ¿Cuál es su plan para conseguir la vida eterna?
Tell me, Charlotte, how do you plan to achieve eternal life, since you've obviously given it a lot of thought?
I won't give up. You have no idea how determined I am, sir. I may contract a deadly disease. I may throw myself under a carriage, just to be saved by her sweet kiss.
That's a disturbing answer, young lady. And the worst part of it is, I know you speak the truth.
Totalmente.
There are less dangerous ways, Doctor. Instead of throwing myself under a horse like Emily Davison, I could just throw myself into your arms.
Uf. Déjese de juegos.
Stop playing this game at once, Charlotte. This is unworthy of you, of your mother, and of myself.
I'm sorry, Dr. Reid. Please forgive me. That was stupid.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Yo no te voy a convertir, que no sé si tengo ese poder. Por ahora. Porque yo qué sé. Vamos a ver. Esta persona. Oye, antes de hablar, tienda de Calum. No te importa que... Vale, está cerrado. Ahora aquí la gente es como el que tiene dinero. Claro. Clothing. Este es el barrio bien. Claro, claro. Caballero, ¿qué tal?
Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reid.
Welcome, Dr. Reid. Welcome to my humble shop.
Qué simpático, ¿no? Y sano como una rosa, estupendo. Cuatro pistitas, venga, vamos a ver. Un momentito, vamos de tiempo. Un momentito. estoy aquí. Ah, subida en Londres. Hábleme sobre el barrio.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the dangers were that high.
Este hombre vive en una pantomima, tan siquiera está, no es ingenuo, es falso. Uf. No sé, ingenuo, ¿no?
You cannot expect the newspapers to expose the truth while the war is still raging. I can assure you that the situation here is desperate.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
Oh, mira pista. No tienen en cuenta la seriedad y la peligrosidad de la epidemia. No es tarde para comerciar.
Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
¿Prefieres hacer vida de noche?
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain je ne sais quoi of its own.
Te entiendo. Sí, sí, yo también. Tiene algo la noche también para mí. ¿No es peligroso?
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
Vale. Bueno. ¿Alguna novedad interesante?
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
La comida, mis gustos son bastante peculiares.
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing table, please share the address.
Sí, come. Una sorpresa para el gourmet solitario en Londres. ¿La comida es lo único que le interesa?
Finding a good restaurant. Is that really all that interests you?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
Le gusta bueno, claro, le gusta la buena vida de bares, claro. Preguntas personales. ¿No tiene familia por aquí?
Do you have any family nearby?
Not since my parents died. I'm London's lone gourmet.
¿El gourmet solitario de Londres?
London's lone gourmet. What a strange title.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I can...
O sea, crítico de cocina. ¿Se siente solo?
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
Bueno, no tenemos nada más por ahora. Ah, es comerciante.
I may have a look at your goods, Mr. Russell.
¿Qué tiene? Fraca, barra, frasco, grina. Todo esto lo conseguimos. Esto a lo mejor quizá me puede dar eficaz, diminuta y de gatillo. Vamos a ver lo que nos hace falta y lo vamos a ver. ¿Qué le pasa a este hombre?
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny.
Don't you recognize your oldest friend?
Hostia.
Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too. So sorry I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
O sea que nos conoce. Uf, migraña. ¿Tenemos para la migraña?
Do you need medical assistance, Clarence?
It's a little late for visiting hours, don't you think?
Tenemos.
What can I say? I haven't lost my old habits.
I hope we're talking about the same habits, old friend.
Vale, subida en Londres. ¿Cuándo regresaste a Londres?
When did you escape the war and return to London?
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
Yo tampoco pienso mucho en ello.
I know what you mean. I haven't had much time to think about the war either since my return.
Of course. The epidemic, I bet you've been busy as well. Forgive me, Johnny, I didn't want to sound selfish.
¿Cuál es tu nueva batalla?
What is this new battle?
I saw terrible things during the war. Horrors I thought I'd forget. They're here too. They're everywhere.
Uf,
Vampires.
uf. Preguntas personales. ¿Cómo está tu mujer?
How is your wife, Venus?
We've spent so much time away from each other. So many things have happened.
Pero estás vivo.
But you're alive. You returned in one piece and you have a family. How many soldiers can say the same?
Believe me, it's not quite that simple. Unlike you, I'm not the man I used to be.
Ay, si tú supieras, amigo mío. ¿Tienes problemas en casa?
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus was relieved to see you return from France in one piece.
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny? Venus fears for our family reputation. Now her husband has become the village idiot.
En el tonto del pueblo. Reputación de la familia. Pues nada,
You need some rest.
ya hablaremos.
You should try to sleep.
Cuarentena y no se acerque, claro, sí. Cuarentena por todos lados, hasta en los juegos. Jardines del temple. Bueno, voy a coger esto y me doy la vuelta, a ver. Que es que resulta que me desvío. A no ser que tenga... A ver, localiza la casa de Emily. Encuentro el restaurante excepcional, a ver. Charlotte Burr, la hija adoptiva de Lisa, es una mujer joven y fuerte con conocimiento de primera mano sobre los vampiros. Por lo visto, recientemente reveló su interés por la materia a su mejor amiga Emily, que parece compartir su romántico entusiasmo para estas criaturas inmortales. Charlotte teme que este reciente interés pueda haber puesto a Emily en peligro, pues la joven desapareció hace poco. Por tanto, me ha pedido que investigue su ausencia. Al mapa. Pues relativamente estoy cerca. La podemos hacer. A ver, hay que seguir la misión principal. Ah.
Women of all countries unite. Support the equality between men and women.
It could be someone you know. Even someone you're close to.
Estamos muy cerca, ¿no? favor, Johnny, no te quedes. Pincha. Espérate, vamos a ver. Momento a las casas. No. Vale, la tercera es esa. Vale, esto es el ejército. Ah, bueno, esta es... Aquí está Venus. Un momento. Vale, este era un restaurante.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Jonathan, is that you? I did not know you were back in London. Oh, my dear Johnny. I'm so sorry for your loss. Mary was such a sweetheart.
Thank you, Venus. May I come in?
I was going to bed, actually.
Ah, vale. Bueno, pues... volveremos después.
Forgive me. With the epidemic, I tend to forget people are supposed to sleep at night.
I'll tell you what. Come back tomorrow for tea. I'll be glad to see you then.
Claro, claro, claro. Por la tarde. Por favor. Parece esta, ¿no? Ahí arriba. Sí, es ahí arriba. Pero claro, no me deja subir. Bueno, pues cuando volvamos la podemos hacer, ya está. No vamos tampoco a volver locos. Bueno, eso es que por aquí podamos. Muelle norte. No, esto no me interesa. No, no me interesa. Vamos a la misión principal. Y dejamos esta para más tarde. Porque estaba... Porque me marca 3 misiones. A ver, encuentro bastante sensacional. Vale. Ah, mira, aquí estoy en uno. ¿Dónde estoy más cerca? 82. ¿Estás por aquí? Bueno, entre que encontramos y tal. Es esta mujer.
Good evening, miss. Can I help you? I'm a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reid.
I am Karina Billow. I don't need any doctor. The rats. Where are the rats?
Miss, you don't seem well at all. Are you afraid of rats? Has one bitten you?
No, it's me who bites them.
Oh,
Tasty, juicy, disgusting rats. I can't stop eating them. Help me, please. Help me to disobey the voice.
su vida en Londres. Hábleme de usted.
Tell me about yourself, Miss Billow. What do you do for a living?
I'm hungry. Need to eat. Have you got something for me?
Sangre.
Blood, perhaps? Can you give me blood, Dr. Reid?
Don't you remember who you are, miss? What you did for work?
I was strong, proud. I campaigned for good causes. But that was before. Before. It does not matter anymore. I'm so hungry.
¿Qué le ha ocurrido?
What happened to you?
The rats. The answer hides in their little crunchy bones. Their juicy, tiny brains.
Miss Billow, please, try to concentrate. Why do you worry about rats so much?
The voice in my head. He forces me to do so. Drink their blood, he said. Eat their flesh.
Hábleme de la voz de su cabeza.
Tell me about the voice in your head. Who is it? Can you describe it? Is it someone you know? Someone you met?
Keep your mouth shut, he said. Don't ever speak about me, or I'll abandon you. Help me, please, Doctor.
Es un lenguaje incoherente cuando habla de lo que le ocurrió. Un momento. Ponía que si no suspender la de esta. Nos falta un montón de gente porque conocer, ¿eh? ¿Se siente obligado a obedecer?
Do you feel compelled to obey that voice, Miss Billow? Even if you're loath to submit to it?
Yes. Please. Help.
Hábleme sobre el barrio.
What is the local news hereabouts, Miss Billow?
Shadows. Shadows hunting shadows. Whispers in the dark. Pestilence. Suffering. Death.
Buf, preguntas personales no tenemos nada.
I must go now. Goodbye, Miss Billow.
Bueno, pues... Vamos a hacer la principal porque está aquí al lado. Creo que podremos encontrarla, ¿no?
They're all around you, waiting for you to let your guard down.
Cojo esto. Y esto también. Octavilla. Hay tanto algo así. Únanse, que no los engañe, que no los controle, están entre nosotros. Codician nuestra alma, los vampiros existen, defienden su comunidad. Esta octavilla ha sido financiada y distribuida por el señor Cecros. Si conoces más información, podemos encontrarse con él directamente. Asista a su próxima conferencia pública. ¿Vista? Uy, pues no está tan equivocado, ¿eh? Bueno, pues aquí estamos. Club Escalón.
Do you know where you are standing right now?
In front of the Ascalon Club, I presume.
The Ascalon Club only summons or ostracizes. What is your business tonight?
I received an invitation. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, then, Dr. Reid. Please proceed. Lord Redgrave is waiting on you upstairs.
¿Y tú, Arthur? ¿Cómo se tú sabes, no? Pingleton.
There has been quite a battle here.
Sí, aquí
I'm
sería.
sure the Ascalon Club has the money to replace the furniture.
¿Y este tipo aquí muerto? Y este también aquí. Por favor. Sí, yo sé que me queda de arriba, pero yo tengo que ver aquí. Párate. Que hay mucha sangre, mucha chicha, ¿eh?
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, then, Dr. Reid.
No, no tiene más. Puñal eficaz. Puñal eficaz. No. No. Claro, para usar una de estas tengo que mejorar de una mano alguna. Ahí sería esta. Esta la puedo mejorar. Oye. Esa la puedo mejorar a nivel 4. Ok. Chalines. Claro. Entiendo.
Good evening.
Usted estaba viendo, pero bueno. Ese libro, ¿qué tiene ese libro? Ratas.
My good friends, if I may have your attention. Behold our visitor, the good Dr. Reid. Newborn of blood so pure and strong that even my friend Fergal Bansher was no match for him.
Here, here, here.
Come forward, young Ekon, for we have so much to discuss. Welcome to the Ascalon Club, Dr. Reid. I am Lord Redgrave, Earl of Bristol and chairman of this exclusive association.
Lord Redgrave.
At last we meet. I've been eager to make your acquaintance. I've heard some astounding things about you. Please accept my condolences for your loss, Dr. Reid.
Thank you, my lord. Lady Ashbury expressed your wish to meet me.
Yes. The lady has always been a useful acquaintance, though not always reliable. Is she a good friend of yours?
Oh. Ha demostrado ser muy útil, la admiro. Es una buena amiga.
She's a close friend, and I'm honored that she feels the same about me.
The centuries have taught me never to trust a woman completely, especially if she is a mortal. Too prone to emotions, if you ask me. Too fickle when it comes to important decisions.
My lord, do not expect me to speak ill of Lady Ashbury.
Of course not, and I praise your loyalty. Would you offer the same fidelity to the Empire?
What do you mean?
I speak of the Skull Plague that threatens London and the country. You have been on the front line in the East End, but the time has come to open up a second front here.
The epidemic has escaped the quarantine. You have new cases of the outbreak.
We don't know for certain, but we cannot allow the disease to threaten the prominent heads of Great Britain.
¿Por qué yo?
Why do you suddenly need me?
The Ascalon Club only recruits the best, and you definitely fit the bill. Your scientific and medical reputation alone would qualify you as a candidate.
You want me to find possible sources of the outbreak in the West End. Is that it?
Ah, straight to the point, like all eager newborns. We shall have time to talk about all this, Dr. Reid, but first, I should like to get to know you better.
Talk? Is that the only reason you asked me here?
Well, no. I also wanted to meet the intriguing Ekon, who made such a powerful progeny of his sister. You have not learned the name of your maker, am I correct?
¿Lo sabrá, tío? No, no se equivoca.
No, I haven't.
Have no embarrassment, Dr. Reid. We all make mistakes. But whatever your lineage, you are definitely Ascalon material.
What do you mean?
I would like you to become a member of the Ascalon Club, and to serve me as such.
Vale, primero quiero hacer unas preguntas.
Before I accept, I have so many questions.
Please ask.
Mate uno de los suyos. ¿Cuál es el objetivo del club?
What is the Ascalon Club's express purpose?
We follow the credo of William Marshall, the greatest knight who ever lived. As was he, we are sworn to protect the British Empire.
William Marshall fundó el club.
William Marshall founded the Ascalon Club.
Not exactly. William Marshall granted me immortality, and I founded the club a few years later. The good knight has been gone for so long.
¿Qué significa Ascalon?
What does Ascalon mean?
Ascalon was the lance wielded by St. George, glorious patron saint of England when he slew the dragon. And like that lance, we pierce the hearts of all our nation's enemies.
Ok, ¿qué implica ser miembro?
What does it mean to be a member of the Ascalon Club?
It means that you swear to protect the interests of the crown, that you become a loyal servant of the British Empire.
¿Cuenta con algún reconocimiento oficial?
Do you have any official recognition from the government? A charter from His Majesty the King?
No. Of course, the Ascalon Club publicly supports the Empire, but the true nature of its members remains a secret.
¿Lo irá a acatar órdenes?
Am I supposed to follow orders?
As founder and chairman of the club, I alone am entitled to make demands of our members, and I do appreciate obedience.
Y mate uno de los suyos.
I killed Fergal, who claimed to be one of yours, sent to cleanse the East End of all skulls. Will his death be an issue?
Do not worry. My priorities have changed. Fergal was a zealous servant of mine, but like any servant, he had his limitations and is readily replaced if necessary.
Va, que se la suda. Y bueno, lo que queda. Acepto unirme al club.
I agree to join the club.
This is good news. Good news indeed in these crucial times. Let's inform the Assembly formally and proceed with your initiation.
My initiation?
fear not. Nothing fancy nor dangerous. It is just that we, the members of Ascalon, believe that tradition and custom are the backbone of this country. My fellow members, dear friends, please gather and welcome this Ekon as one of our own.
Is he worthy? Is his blood pure?
Well, speak, Dr. Reid, in front of the most sacred blood. The blood of our beloved William Marshall. Speak now. Will you serve and protect the crown as he did?
Yes, I will.
Then, young Ekon, it is time to testify with your blood. It is time to sign the Book of Allegiance. I know it's awfully gothic and a tad pedantic, but England's traditions are the backbone of our nation.
Sí, esto es muy típico. Ya. Ah.
Delightful. Welcome to the Ascalon Club, Dr. Reid. Take your place among the bearers of the lance.
One of us! One of us!
Ahora con Lord Rigraff.
I personally went patrolling last night in the West End, and I spotted at least 2 foreign Ekons. This is an outrage.
Claro.
Chase these intruders down.
Y esta gente, pues.
I was chased by a gigantic falcon 2 nights ago.
Estos son unos cualquiera que no. Ya. Pues voy a hacer un corte y ahora sigo grabando. Un saludito y hasta ahora.